Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to my channel, Ames Vlogs. And if this is your first time coming across my channel, I hope you stay and I hope that after this video you leave feeling happier and encouraged. So please like and subscribe to my channel, and I will try and keep on posting more faith-based content and vlogs. Okay, so getting into this video was something I really wanted to talk about, and it was, so I just want to go through some things to not during your waiting season based on experience. And yeah, these are just some things that you should not be doing in your waiting season based on experience. And the first thing I was going to talk about was grumbling and complaining. As natural as it is to feel down or to feel sad in some moments, especially when you feel like you've been waiting for so long, there is a difference with that and just looking back at your past longingly, or wishing, or kind of like a woe is me moment, I would say. And I just remember the Israelites in the wilderness, and I remember how much they grumbled in the Bible. They complained so much that they thought that their past was better than where they were going. And even through that, God was faithful. Yes, they were delayed and they did end up wandering for 40 years, even though that was really not the plan. But God was still faithful. But there was just so much to learn from the hard posture of the Israelites, that they could not still see the hand of God guiding them through. Even when they had no food, God supplied food for them, and just so many ways that they couldn't just realize that there was a promise and they were going to receive that promise, but they remained in a constant state of despair. And I feel like in some of my waiting journeys too, I found out that I was trying to put myself in a constant state of despair, and now it's just something that I'm fighting, and I'm like, absolutely no. Whatever it is I'm trusting God for, whatever answered prayer I'm believing for, I just don't see myself constantly remaining sad and downcast, or looking back at my past with longing. No. So that's the first thing you shouldn't do. The second thing I would say is putting it into your own hands, and taking things into your own hands. That's also something that I will not. I wouldn't recommend that you take matters into your own hands, because you're going to meet a roadblock. And also, a very dangerous place for you to be is outside the will of God. You don't want to be outside the will of God. It's dangerous, and you're not sure what you're going to encounter. So I'll say, in your waiting season, whatever it is that you are trusting God for, let's say you're waiting for a job or financial provision, you don't want to get to a point where you are ready to risk and take a little detour and do a quick fix. You will get into trouble. Simple, plain, short. In my waiting season, I tried a couple of detours, and I was just like, okay, well, this one is taking time, so let me use this method, or I see that I can maybe try this. And though they were not necessarily bad, it was just not the story God had written for me, and they all failed. They crumbled. I tried 2 times and they literally did not come to pass, and it just left me feeling even worse. I felt like I had wasted my resources. I felt like I put in so much time and effort, and those things were just failing. And then I think it was a moment where God was like, okay, but this is not the story I want you to have, that you got it through this. This is what I want your story to be. Even though it's taking time, can you just let it pan out? And yeah, like, even in that state, I feel like I was very like, okay, well, how come it's not coming quickly? I've been praying XYZ, like, are you even here? And it was a day that I had the realization that, like, yes, like, God is here. Like, I could still see his hand in other things in my life. Like, this is part of his will, and there's a perfect time for everything, and like, God's time is not late, and it will still come. So the next thing I would say, which is a don't, is putting your life on hold. Ooh, this one is, depending on where you are, this can be very common, and I found that I did this as well during my waiting season. And even when I speak to strangers, friends, family, I find that sometimes as human beings we can tend to be like, well, still waiting for this thing, so I'm not gonna do this, or I can't be doing this when I still haven't gotten this. Or it can even sound like I'm not going to commit to anything because I'm still waiting for something. So yeah, that can be like another very slippery terrain to find yourself in, is when you're constantly putting your life on hold because you are limiting what God can do in your waiting season. And trust me, there is always a lot of movement in your waiting season. Like, oh my goodness, trust me, like, God works in the quiet, in that stillness. There's always a lot going on. And if you find yourself just allowing yourself to just, not really here, whatever, like, there's so much you can miss. A lot of time God finds us working in the field, and that's one of my, in fact, that's a word that has stayed with me a lot since last year. Is like, sometimes like God will meet you in the field, like even with reading Ruth, just doing what you're doing diligently, and whatever God has placed in front of you, to take care of that and to tend to that and to do it well, whatever that may be. Do not put your life on hold. Do not put your life on hold because you feel like, oh, I've been waiting for my visa, it hasn't come out, so I'm not going to bother with XYZ. Or I have been waiting, still don't have this job, so not going to start my baking business that's been on my mind. And that was myself. But yeah, it can look like anything. Putting your life on hold can look like anything. And honestly, you're going to limit what God can do in your life by doing that. Like, trust me. That was something I did, but thankfully this video keeps cutting off, but we're going to do it. But yeah, it's just a place that you don't want to find yourself, is constantly putting your life on hold because you are limiting so many beautiful possibilities. God really does work in the stillness of life, and it's just a beautiful story. And I just think of like Ruth, especially in that time, and I've also seen it in my life, is that through the years of waiting and trusting God, I still cannot deny that I saw traces of his hand all over. So yeah, I will encourage you to wait well, as difficult as it is, to fill yourself up with the word and with encouragement based on scripture. And there's definitely still a reason for the season that you are in, and if you open your mind and open your eyes, you will find that God is doing so many things, and there's purpose in that journey. A lot of times I even still feel like I still don't know the bigger picture of some of the things that I've gone through in the last couple of years, but I can see glimmers of, oh wow, okay, I see why this happened and this had to wait and all of that. So keep on waiting, and I'll do a part 2 really just talking about what to do in your waiting season and ways that you can wait well. And I really hope that you feel encouraged in some ways and you don't feel alone, and a lot of people are in this journey as well. So I pray that you find solace and comfort knowing that God is still faithful even through your grumbling and your complaints. But I know that it's His will that we still find joy and peace even when we're waiting for an answer. Thank you guys for watching this video. It was a short one, but I just hope that you get the message, and I pray that you feel lighter, and I hope that you like and subscribe to my channel because I will be posting more favorites content and vlogs. So thank you for watching. Bye.